As a small boy, born in Burnley Road in Burnmalloch in the early 1950s, my view of the world was a relatively open one. Even though Burnmalloch was a relatively new scheme, near the end of our street was a remnant of an old country lane which shortcut to Broomfield Road. It was partially metalled and was lined with, I think, hawthorn, and I used to love it there, as you could hide in the undergrowth, and it felt like all the houses and roads were a distant memory. One day, I'm sure it was the summer of 1963, but history argues it was 64, an absolutely huge yellow earth moving machine drove onto the field and tore up the country lane. It proceeded to gouge huge chunks of earth from all around that part of the field which lay between the corner of our street, Ryhill Road, and Broomfield Road. It dragged it all to the front of our tenements, thereby creating a rather large and child-friendly hill, which was still there 15 years later. All of this, it turned out, was the groundbreaking for the construction of the now infamous Red Road Flats. I was quite fascinated by this massive machine, as it took no time at all in levelling a huge area to the flatness of a snooker table. What skill! Within days this area was surrounded by a 7-foot high wooden barricade. Same thing happened in the wasteland. No more shows for us. It was around this time that the steam locomotives began to disappear from the shunt yard, and the rails and signalling were removed from the railway cuttings. Dr. Beecham's cuts were beginning to bite. I watched daily as the internal steam frames of these huge skyscrapers climbed swiftly to the clouds, while new shiny diesel engines replaced the locals in the yard. These large engines had drivers' cabins at each end, so the huge turntable fell into disuse. Motorways were being built, the brand new Forth Road Bridge was opened. A new breed of car was being parked along Burnley Road, Hillman Imps, Ford Cortinas, a Singer Gazelle, no longer the dark old-fashioned and wood-panelled monstrosities of previous years. It seemed modernity had come to Scotland, sweeping the old and outdated before it.